Good morning, Steve Jolly with Benchmark Realty, and welcome to the Music City Show. We are so thankful that you decided to tune in this morning, and we are thankful to the folks that tune in every Thursday around 8:30 to catch the Music City Show. So let's get down to business. So the first thing what I wanted to talk to you about today is we're going to continue our series on real estate myths and should you renovate before you sell. Now, this myth has been perpetuated by networks like HGTV and DIY. And when you watch the shows that are on the networks, it leaves you with the feeling that you have to totally renovate your home, a whole house renovation, before you sell. And I'm here to say it's simply not the truth. And I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why, especially in this market. And so the first thing I want to talk about is they make it look so fun on those shows, but in reality, renovating your home is not that much fun. It never happens as quickly as possible. There's always headaches, frustrations. There's things that they uncover that you didn't think of, and it usually costs you a little bit more than what you expected. That is a problem. So it's not fun like HGTV and the DIY shows make it out to be. So that's one reason to consider. Here's the second one. Supply versus demand. We all saw earlier in the year what the supply chain issues did to things like paper towels and toilet paper. It decimated the shelves. And we're seeing the same thing right now in real estate. Demand is huge for real estate, and the supply of homes to buy is really small. But we're seeing that supply in a bunch of other areas. So it's not only the homes for sale, but it's also materials. So things like sinks and doors and trim and lumber and appliances and all those things, all those components that you put together to create a home, we're having supply chain issues across the board. So the supply of materials, the supply of new homes, and also the supply of labor. There's so much new construction going on. There's so much renovation work going on. There's people out there doing DIY home improvements themselves. All those numbers add up to supply chain issues across the board, making it even more difficult to get the job done, taking it longer to get the job done, creating more headaches and frustrations for you folks that are trying to renovate your home, especially doing a big giant project like a whole house renovation. But it's also the timing too. So, right now we're basically in a seller's market. So there's fewer homes on the market to buy than there are buyers that really want to buy. And we'll see more of that in a minute. So it's really difficult to find a home you want to. So buyers aren't as choosy. They can't be as choosy as they used to be because their perfect home isn't out there. Sometimes they may look for a few months and only have the choice of one home. So timing is not the issue, but I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, what about in a different time? What happened? What would be the case if this was a balanced market or this was, let's say, a buyer's market? Well, even if you're thinking about doing a whole house renovation then, unless you're going to live in it for a long time, rarely does the ROI for the average consumer add up to where you're going to make a ton of money that's worth the time, effort, headaches, frustration of doing a whole house renovation. So the timing might be an issue, but it's probably not for the average consumer. And here's what I'm suggesting that you do instead. You've got really three choices. You can do nothing, which there's nothing wrong with that. It just may take a little bit more marketing and ingenuity to sell your home. You can do the whole house renovation, which I'm definitely in 99% of the cases we're not recommending. But lastly, there's that middle ground. And so what we like to do to our clients is focus on the small improvements, the small repairs that make a big difference to the consumers out there, to the buyers that are looking for your home, but without breaking your bank and without wasting your time and causing a lot of headaches and frustrations. So we're talking small improvements like freshen up the kitchen, freshen up the master bathroom, painting, replace worn flooring, just regular maintenance issues, small things like that, and strategic staging on top of that. All those small things that help freshen up the look and change the look of your home without costing you a fortune, and without costing you time that you want to instead be moving on with your life instead of renovating your home that somebody else is going to live into. So that's what we suggest. Small improvements that freshen up the look of your home, that get it ready for the market, that get buyers' attention without all the other issues and problems in place. And for an example, one of our clients took our advice earlier this year, back in June and July and August in the summertime. Their home next door, which was a very similar home, very similar condition, just by chance happened to go on the market at the same exact time. They hardly did anything to get the home ready for sale. On the other hand, my client took our advice. The homes went on the market within one day of each other. They went under contract within one day of each other. When they both closed, the difference in price, our client had a sales price of $23,000 more than the competitor. So that's extra money in their pocket for about the same amount of time and work and effort put into it. So that's what we suggest, and that's what we propose to you. And so if you have any questions about it, feel free to give me a call, 615-257-9996. I'd be glad to answer your questions. We'd be glad to come over, review your home, and give you our advice on the small things that you can do that make all the difference in the world. Now let's check out the market for the week. So we're starting to see fall come in, and our seasonal tendencies come in that we see every year in real estate as the market slows down as we approach the holidays. However, sales are still up 5.2% from they were last year, but you'll start to see is when we look at the short term, we start to see sales are trending downwards. Now, part of that is due to the bottleneck because there's not enough homes on the market. And also, if you see the new listings, the same thing here. We're seeing a decline in new listings, and that's got to be tied to the decline in sales. So new listings are down 11.7% from where they were last year, although we still had almost 1,000 hit the market. But overall, we're starting to see them decline. A slow decline as we would normally have expected last month, but we're seeing it this month. And I think a month from now, we'll see a more pronounced decline that we normally do when we run into the holidays. Now let's take a look at showings. The demand out there is still strong. So showings are still up 17.7% from where they were last year. Almost 10,000 showings in the greater Nashville area last week. So the demand out there is strong. There's still people out there looking. There's still people out there taking action. Showings overall, though, once again, we're seeing all these short-term indicators over the last 4 weeks, a slow decline in showings as we move out of the summer months and into the fall. But as we get closer to winter, we're going to see that take a dive even further. Because once we get to the holidays, there's so much busyness going on. There's so many things going on in people's lives that they kind of just forget about real estate for about 2 months, and they get interested back in January. So I expect we'll see that trend again this year. So we'll just hang on, and I'll keep you informed. Homes under contract up 35.7% from last year. So that's over 1,000 homes went under contract. So that's amazing. So especially for this time of year. So keep in mind, though, about 30% of those homes are brand new construction. So that's what's really keeping us, keeping our market going here in Nashville. New construction is doing well. They can't go on forever. We do need also more resale homes to hit the market. Keep that in mind if you're thinking about selling your home. There's still a strong demand out there. Interest rates are still low. People are still moving to Nashville. It's a good time to be selling your home if that is what you are inclined to do. And although the under contract is still slightly going up, it's not going up as much as it was last week or the weeks before. So I expect we'll see that trend take a turn in the next week or two to start heading on a downward decline. Here's more good news. Over the last 4 weeks, the median sales price creeped up a little bit more, now $354,000. It was just a few months ago that was $325,000. So Nashville's still a hot market, and the days on market are declining at this point. Just a month ago, it was in the low 80s, 82, 83 days on market. And we measure total days on market here, so that's from the day that you list to the day that you close. So you know exactly how long your home is going to be under contract and or in marketing. Still a fast-moving market, still a appreciating market. Those are all great signs for Nashville real estate. If you like data, if you like this kind of information, and you want to see what's happening in your specific neighborhood, you're in luck. I have created a data dashboard for you, and this information comes directly from the MLS. I collaborated and put it into this dashboard every week for you, so you can see the sales, the new listings, homes that go under contract, the showings. You can see all the leading indicators of the market and the trailing indicators of the market, and you can get an idea. But the best part of it is you can see for a specific time period, or you can even zero in on your what county you live in, what city you live in, or even what zip code you live in. So you can see what's happening in your neighborhood, and that can help you make the decision on what you need to do with your home and with your future. So that's the good news out there. And next week, we're going to be continuing our series on myths, and we're going to tackle a big one next week about selling it yourself. Most people think when you sell it yourself, you make more money. I'm going to show you most people, when they sell it themselves, they tend to make less money. So we'll see how that happens. Guys, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. Thank you for showing up every Thursday morning around 8:30. So have a great week. Peace and love, y'all.